You're listening to the Ballroom Network. The following program is intended for all audiences. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Goon Podcast with your hosts, Joe Mandel, the Goon, John Santucci, the Tooch, and the man with the plan, Adam Sham. We're bringing you the fantasy football knowledge that you need every single week.
Derrick Henry still going. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown. Only Mahomes turns what might have been a 15-yard sack into a 27-yard touchdown.
Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, staying in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards for his first NFL touchdown. McCaffrey right up the middle, and he is gone for the touchdown. 58 yards. This is to Thomas. He's gone. Touchdown Saints.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job, the cut. Now, while I wasn't able to cut everyone I wanted to, I have cut a lot of you. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you. Congratulations, the rest of you made the team. Except you, and you.
God bless fantasy football. There are many things a man can do with his time. And this, better than those things.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Goon Playoffs Round 1. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mandel, the Goon, and I'm joined, as always, by my fantasy football brothers, John Santucci, the Tooch, and Adam Sham, the man with the plan. Gentlemen, happy playoffs week for those of you who celebrate, or if you're Adam, you're on 2 buys and you couldn't care less.
Except I just care that my guys stay healthy. You know, that's the worst thing about being on the bye. You're like, can they just not actually play this week? Or
yeah, no, I hear you. The fantasy playoffs got off to a bit of a thud on Thursday night with one of the worst Thursday night games I've probably ever seen statistically. The only player that put up over 10 fantasy points, there's 2 of them. I think it's Puka Nacua and Isaac Guerrero. I think those are the
Williams, I think, got there in a lot of leagues.
Well, besides that and no one probably started him. So, what a rough start. Kyron, you're right. Kyron did good.
Yeah, Kyron got 100 yards. I know.
Well, in guillotine, our buddy Foster was about 30 seconds away from benching Williams, and I was like, all right, I'm getting away with this one. And then somehow, right before kickoff, he swapped him out. I was like,
got him in there, huh? Yeah, he had like 30 carries in that game, and it wasn't ugly 100 yards, but he still got 100 yards.
Yeah, that game plan is part of the reason Cooper Kupp owners got absolutely screwed. Was a goose egg. I have stock in Cooper Kupp, and what should have been a great matchup, turned into a thud, and a lot of people have a big hole to dig out of, myself included. But we're here to talk fantasy playoffs round 1. Inactives are starting to come in, and the biggest one to lead things off, a lot of people have a great tight end named David Njoku is inactive for the Browns today, gentlemen. So that's a big loss for people that need a tight end going into a big, important weekend.
It's a real big loss. He's been huge, especially the second half of the season like he was last year. It's like every game he's healthy, he gets like over 10 targets, especially with Jameis playing.
Yep, and that same game, Cedric Tillman inactive again as wide receiver. So Elijah Moore stock continues to go up. He's a great start for today. Expect him to see 10, at least I'd say 7 to 10 targets at least today. So that could be a good option for those of you that need some help off the wire. Kansas City is inactive. Hollywood Brown is inactive. I know people have been jazzing that he's going to be coming back. I imagine that'll probably be closer to the regular NFL playoffs and not the fantasy playoffs. So I'm assuming that's probably not somebody you're going to own unless you're in a dynasty league. So keep an eye on that. Heading into Ravens Giants. A lot of defensive players inactive for that game. No one on the offensive side of the ball, and I know these are starting to pour in. So I'm just going over the ones that have been announced. Jacksonville, of course, they announced that Evan Engram, the tight end, got put on IR, so he's done for the year. So you can pick up Dr. Strange, as I like to call him, the backup tight end if you need some help. Dearness Johnson, the backup running back, inactive for that game. And then on the other side of the ball, no Tyler Conklin at tight end for the Jets. Derek Carr will be inactive today for the Saints. Not that you were starting him in the fantasy playoffs anyway. Let's see here. Going through no George Pickens today for the Steelers. So that's another.
They spread the ball around like 5 different guys caught passes, I think, in the game last week without Pickens. They spread the ball around. So if you're looking for like a single guy, my lean would be Pat Freiermuth, that's put up some pretty good numbers.
Who will be mentioned later in this show. Spoiler alert. So keep that in mind. Obviously, more will come out over the course of this game. At the tight end position, later on this afternoon, no Will Dissly for the Chargers. I know a lot of people have been riding Disneyland, like Tooch likes to call it.
Yep. Going to Disneyland.
None of that today. For Green Bay and Seattle this afternoon, Luke Musgrave, the backup tight end, is out. So that means good things for Tyler Kraft. I have a feeling you're going to hear about him later in the show as well. And that's all I got for right now. Obviously,
Tucker Kraft.
What did I say?
Tyler.
Oh, yeah. I meant to say Tucker.
I don't know. It's Tucker, right?
Yes, it is Tucker Kraft.
Packers guy.
Yeah. That's what I thought I said, but it is what it is. Tucker, Tyler,
right.
Macaroni and cheese, Kraft mac and cheese.
That's all right. Yeah.
You name it. But that's what we got for inactive so far. Obviously, more can change as we go. And we got a question here from Ninja52 Elite. Pick one, standard, Stroud, Love, or Bo Nix. I hate Stroud and Jordan Love today. So for me, it's easily Bo Nix, but I think these other guys might potentially feel differently. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd be Bo Nix on this one.
Me too.
Yeah. Stroud's just hasn't gotten it done all season, really. I'm not going to risk it now in the playoffs. And Jordan Love, I don't love that game either. I'd take Bo Nix.
So here's why I would take Bo Nix. Broncos are coming off a bye against the Colts. Now the Colts, our defense has been better than I thought it would be this season. It hasn't been terrible. But Anthony Richardson, man, against the Broncos defense, I think the Broncos will have a few extra series or possessions. I'll give Nix, some time to do some damage, whether it's with his legs or through the air. So I would go Nix, and he's always a threat to run one in, whereas like Stroud and Love, they're not as money rushing touchdown.
Yeah, Nix is much more dual threat.
Yep.
Yep, and Seattle's corners have been drastically underrated the last couple of weeks. I feel like Seattle's secondary has been playing defense,
better. McDonald has a whole defense playing well.
Yeah, so that's why I don't like Jordan Love today. It's part of the reason that I like
They're so
Tucker
run
Kraft.
heavy too.
They are run heavy, and I like Tucker Kraft as the check down guy. So look at that. Ninja says, thanks, guys. Awesome answer. Well, thanks for tuning in, Ninja. We appreciate you. We do this every Sunday before kickoff. Hard to believe there's only 2 more weeks of fantasy playoffs left, and then we say adios to this season, which is wild.
My second choice would have been Stroud. The Dolphins defense is playing pretty well. Stroud's at home, though. Man, he's really in a sophomore slump. But I could see the Texans-Dolphins game turning into a shootout. I actually like the under because both those teams are under teams. But I could see that game becoming a shootout as well, too, because Tua and the Dolphins offense seem to have some juice.
Yeah,
it depends. Though. I mean, you could also see that game being like 16-13, 20-17.
Yeah, I think Tua keeps it going this week, but I have a feeling that run game is really going to get going today in that game. I like A-Chain a lot. What was I going to say? I was going to say between those two guys, between Stroud and Love, I mean, there's got to be somebody better on the wire. There's great matchups for people that are just out there in the blue, like a guy like Aaron Rodgers today. as much as I don't love the Jets offense,
It's got a great matchup.
they have a great matchup against Jacksonville. I mean, this could be a week to pick up Aaron Rodgers, and he could put a 30-35 burger on your opponent. I mean, now I feel awful in the guillotine league and my other leagues that I benched Garrett Wilson for Cooper Kupp. Now I feel like an idiot because I know now Wilson's going to go off. I think he's really going to go off against Jacksonville, but
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, man, part of me feels like he doesn't even want to play this year anymore, but I don't know. Papa Bear, you probably have a comment on that.
Yeah, I think he seemed like that all season. Like he keeps making them make all these moves for him, and he doesn't even seem like he cares that they get done. Like nothing changes. Like, yeah, I don't know. And he said something that he would like to be welcomed back next year. It's like, you don't even look like you want to be there this year.
He's just a weird dude.
Ninja said Rodgers is a free agent in his league. Do you start Rodgers or Bo Nix today? That's the question, I think.
I don't know. It's a great question.
Bo Nix.
I probably would stick with Nix too, but yeah.
Bo Nix is top 10 quarterback on the season. Rodgers has been a top 10 quarterback like maybe once on the whole season.
Yep.
I agree hesitantly, but the only reason I agree is because Bo Nix gets the Colts, who can't stop anybody. So anyway, but I'm just saying it's an option for a lot of people that are in quarterback trouble.
Maybe the Colts will hire Matt Eberflus to come back and be their defensive coordinator.
Well, word on the street is they were going to fire him before the Bears hired him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
But the plot lines are wild, but let's get into our starts and sits of the week. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on any more inactives that come out because as it's about that time. We're about an hour from kickoff. So let's dive into our quarterback starts. Adam, why don't you lead us up? Oh, all right. Let's do that.
The guy's on the beach with a cigar.
Yeah.
Is that a recent or is that fake? Is that
that's recent.
I thought it was a recent photo I heard, yeah.
He shaved off his beard?
You can't hate that guy enough if you're a Bears fan.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if I got cut and I was still making all that money, that's probably exactly what the hell I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Just sitting back and watching. But Ninja liked that one too. LOL. So to Adam, like I was saying, your quarterback starts of the week.
Well, I got some of the guys that obviously Joe Burrow, you're going to start him, but I mean, he's the hottest quarterback in the NFL for like 6 weeks now. He's thrown 300 yards and 3+ touchdowns in 3 straight games. Fire him up against Tennessee. I think him and Chase are out just to break records at this point right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you keep firing them up until they say we're throwing up the white flag. If they win, you keep playing them.
Yep. Joe Burrow could save me from Cooper Kupp this week. He's the only person that could save me and dig me out of the hole. Tooch knows it too.
He can. Oh man, this reminds me. Have you guys been watching the AFC North in Hard Knocks?
No, but did you see what he bought?
I haven't, but Aldo said it was really good.
Oh man, it is great. It is great. It was Jameis Winston on there, obviously just hilarious. Last night he was like, I was watching it last night. The episode wasn't last night, but he was like, I'm asking the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. He was just hilarious on there, man. He was saying that. But anyway, Burrow's number 1 QB right now in my mind. And then Tua also been on fire lately since he's come back healthy. I love him versus Houston today. He's got Waddle involved last couple games. Tyreek finally had a big game last week with 10 catches and 100 yards and back to the old ways. Still looking for that big deep play, but I think that's going to come any moment. And then the guy I picked at the start of the year as a league winner, I think now's the time to fire him up. Jaden Daniels right now versus New Orleans. Going in this game, New Orleans offense is going to be bad. Washington should get a lot of opportunities with the ball. You get the dual threat there. He's probably going to run a little bit. He's going to throw a couple touchdowns. I love Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry today versus New Orleans.
Oh yeah, that's the best match. It's one of the best matchups you could ask for during fantasy playoffs. It's just about as good as the Bengals against Tennessee and vice versa.
Yeah.
That Tennessee-Cincinnati game, I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game.
That's going to be an interesting matchup against the Texans for Tagovailoa. I mean, Texans have arguably been a little bit of a pass funnel, with they're really good against the run, but they're also great at rushing the passer. You know, the pass rush of the Texans, they really get pressure with only, they don't blitz. They get enough pressure without blitzing.
Right.
So Tua's matchup, while he's had 300 yards or more his past 3 games, I mean, it's hard not to ride the hot hand.
Absolutely.
I just think with Tua, it's kind of like it hasn't been lately, but the way it used to always feel like with Brock Purdy, it's just like kind of easy for him to get fantasy points. They just build up quickly on easy throws and easy touchdowns. So that's why I always like Tua as a pretty safe play.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's gotten good play from his tight end.
Oh man,
he certainly has, and Tooch has the guy we were just talking about on his start list.
Yeah. Look, Bo Nix, I think with his threat with the legs and coming off a bye of Sean Payton, I hope we'll have his team prepared. Like I said, look, Anthony Richardson needs a lot of time to develop. He could have a future, a big, bright future in the NFL. I don't know. Right now, I just don't think he's that good. And that Broncos defense has been really good. So I'll take Bo Nix and getting maybe some extra possessions back home, extra drives. Sam Darnold versus the Bears is coming off a 5-touchdown game versus the Falcons. Bears are giving up 250 yards offense passing per game, which is not as good as they've been in past. Their defense has fallen off. One of their best pass rushers will be out for this game, and Gervon Dexter. So Darnold, it looks like he's putting things together, Adam.
I agree.
He's running the offense of Kevin O'Connell really well. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him in the offseason. But Justin Herbert's got a great matchup versus the Buccaneers. Now, Herbert's got a little injury designation. That's the one thing that worries me. And then Ladd McConkey also carries that injury designation. I'm trying not to give the most obvious ones. Obviously, I like, guys like Tua and Burrow and Kyler Murray today. But Herbert really has a good matchup. I think without Dobbins, they may throw a little bit more than they have in the past. I forget the name of the backup tight end without Disley, though, but he's also been really good.
Stone Smart.
Smart? Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah.
He's got a little more speed than Disley, so this might be a guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Love that. Love those calls, Tooch. Good stuff. I also have Sam Darnold against the Bears today. I like that he's putting it together. Last week he looked incredible. So if he keeps anything, at least half of that going, he should have a big day against the Bears.
Yep.
Tua, we talked about, been on fire. Looks good. That offense is moving. And lastly, I have a guy that a lot of people have slept on all year, but I love Jared Goff today against Buffalo. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think both defenses are sits. You're going to hear me talk about one of them later in the show as a sit.
The highest total on the board all season, Joe. 54.5 points. We haven't seen the total this high all season. And, of course, the Bills are coming off a game where they had 86 points scored in it.
Yeah, I mean,
that shootout versus the Rams is amazing.
We're talking about a shootout to the max. Both quarterbacks, specifically Jared Goff, who's been playing lights out. I love him today against Buffalo. So fire him up if you got him. Scooting. Oh, what do we got here? We got a question here from Nick. He said he lost in the first week of the playoffs, being number 1 seed by 2 points. Oh, damn. That's the worst, Nick. That is the worst.
Yep.
Tooch is going to lose by 2 points today.
You work so hard, all season long to get that 11-2 record, and then, come in top seed and lose to the 8th seed. That's tough, man.
Yeah, I feel that way about Cooper Kupp right now, but there's still time to bounce back. So we'll see.
When you lose by 2 points, there's so many I shoulda, woulda, couldas. You're just like, oh no, if I only did this, if I only did that, if just this happened, that's brutal.
Hopefully, someone put some bourbon under the Christmas tree for Nick.
I think they probably will, or he'll put it under there for himself.
In my opinion, it's always better just to get blown out. If you're going to lose, just blow me out early and don't give me any hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. But I'll go into my running back starts. Today I love Brian Robinson Jr. against the Saints. He's my top start of the week. It's the guy that looks like I think.
Do I have him too, Brian Robinson?
You do not have him on your starts list.
I thought I had him.
Actually, none of you guys do, but that's good that we're
I love it
variety
though.
here.
I would put him there too. I love his call.
Yeah, he's my number one start of the week. I think he's going to go crazy against New Orleans. You can pencil him in for at least a touchdown and 100 yards, easy in my book. I think he goes for 2 scores, 100 yards rushing, and like 20 to 30 yards receiving. I think it's a big day for Brian Robinson Jr., potentially higher, but ceiling is very high for him. Rico Dowdle, I love him against Carolina today. That game was going to have more points in it than expected. And Rico Dowdle, as Adam pointed out at the start of the season, was the better back in Dallas and has certainly been getting it done, even though the team itself has not. But Rico Dowdle, certainly a great matchup today.
Really come on. Catching the ball, too.
Rico Dowdle and Chase Brown were 2 of the guys we were all set at the start of the season to stash and hold. And the second half of the season, they're killing it.
Worked out.
Chase Brown's top 5 running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
to me, stashed him in one league.
Chase Brown reminds me so much of old Austin Eckler. I love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I stashed him in Barroom and had him. I got him starting, but
yeah, it's phenomenal. And then Chuba Hubbard.
I love this play, Joe. Can I just say I gotta give you the Chuba Hubbard. I wanted him on my list too, but here's the thing: there's nobody else besides Chuba to run the ball. I bet you gets 20+ carries.
Jonathan Brooks is out, I think, for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah.
He's got nobody.
It's all
Chuba today, man. I take it
on mine too.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I meant to put him in there too when I saw that.
But. I mean, he's been a
Dallas
beast.
Run defense is terrible.
Yeah, and Chuba's been a beast all year. I think this is going to be a shootout game, which means they're not going to stop running the ball. And Chuba catches passes too. I made a trade in the Goon League like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I traded Pickens for Hubbard. That worked out so good with Pickens being out for the playoffs. Potentially the only thing that can save me, him and Joe Burrow from the wrath of Tooch. So let's see what happens. Tooch is like, oh man, he's got.
I don't think I'll be going much farther if I get past that first round, though. Joe, some good teams, and my roster is not, it's been hit hard by injury, everything.
It only takes a little bit of luck.
Yeah,
you never know.
I have to play Sincere McCormick. I think that's how bad it is.
Well, that's not a terrible play. We're going to talk about him later too. Let's check out Adam's starts of the week.
I got Chuba Hubbard, as we just mentioned. I don't need to go into that again. It's just an awesome matchup, and he's got all the work. And then Chase Brown, I just talked about him for a second too. He's, like I said, he's top 5 running back right now to me. He's getting absolutely all the work as well. And he gets tons of passing game.
I can't remember the other guy's name in Cincinnati.
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss.
Completely forgotten.
He got hurt, and so now it's Khalil Herbert. They traded for Khalil Herbert.
Did you see him returning kicks the other day?
Yeah, and Khalil Herbert's playing like 3 snaps a game or something, and it's just all Chase Brown. He's getting like a 7, 8, 9 targets a game. I mean, he's killing it.
Yep.
And then, as much as I hate this one, Aaron Jones, he always tears up the Bears.
Always kills the Bears. Yep, he's on my list.
You can't go against Aaron Jones versus the Bears. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say Aaron Jones has a good game today and probably scores at least 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Never fails. Fire up Aaron Jones versus the Bears.
Yep.
Love it. Tooch,
especially if the Bears' run defense has been awful.
Yep. Rico Dowdle having a hell of a second half. Doing it, catching passes and running, a lot like Chase Brown. I would put Chase Brown on here too as well. And like I said, I bet you Chuba gets 20 carries. So running backs in this game, Panthers, Cowboys today, get in on it. Bear killer Aaron Jones always kills the Bears. James Conner versus the Patriots. Look at his numbers the past few weeks, man. Just quietly getting around, 20 fantasy points a game. Yeah, what more can you ask for? Yeah.
He does it every year, and it kind of goes wildly unnoticed.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had Connor all year and in guillotine, and he's been part of the puzzle. So
like it feels like an eternity ago that he took over for Le'Veon Bell holding out, and James Conner came in there and just dominated. And it seems like that was a decade ago.
Yep, yeah, beating cancer too along the way.
Yeah.
Just constantly beating everyone into submission, including cancer, for sure.
Plus, he catches the ball too, man. It's like he does it all.
Great hands. He has
That's where he gets his value. Is because he could have a terrible game rushing, but he'll still catch
goal line
5 or 7 passes.
and pass work.
Love it, boys. Scooting down into tight end starts. Tooch, lead things off for us.
It should be Hawkinson versus the Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, let me fix that.
I think. Was that what I gave out? I might have forgot to change it when I did my sheet.
Well, it should be Hawkinson versus the Bears because he's going to tear them up probably.
I agree. I mean, look what Kittle did. Kittle was open all day against cover 3.
Oh, God. I mean, not even a guy within 20 yards of him half the time.
Yeah, so, I mean, why would you not expect Hawkinson, Addison, and Jefferson to freaking tear up the Bears' zone defense in this game?
The Bears haven't been able to cover a tight end for 20 years.
No. Look, let me tell you another thing. The past 2 games, the Bears played the Vikings 2 weeks ago, Thanksgiving Day. They went into the locker room down 16-0. Last week, they played the 49ers. They went into the locker room down 24-0. I'm taking the Vikings -3.5 first half. Putting a couple units on that, man.
It's literally like the Bears don't know you're supposed to play the first half. They literally don't start till the second
all
half.
season long.
It's like 2 different teams every single week.
All season long. To me, this is like
every game is the exact same shit.
When you see a trend, you bet it. So, Joe, Vikings -3.5 first half tomorrow. Throw a couple units on it. Probably easy money. I got Hawkinson, probably Jonnu Smith. Look at his numbers the past few weeks. The Texans have been pretty good versus the tight end, but man, come on, this guy. Tua loves throwing to him, And then Freiermuth, look at his numbers the past few weeks. Now you're playing against a pass funnel. The Eagles are one of the best teams against the run. They're good against the pass too. Don't get me wrong, because their number 1 pick, Quinyon Mitchell, has been amazing in pass pro, the quarterback position. Pat Freiermuth has had good numbers past few weeks. I think he's got if you're looking for somebody to start, you can't do much worse. Tight end.
Love it, man. Great stuff. A question for you guys. I'm in Adam Ranks League and Tooch's as well. The playoffs don't start till
Am I playing you?
Yeah.
I think I'm playing you there too. Yeah.
Well, this is a question for Adam.
I have a really good team in that league.
You have a really good team.
Yeah, I have a good team in that league.
So tight end has been a struggle for me all year. So, I have 3 tight ends on my roster, and Hunter Henry, Jake Ferguson, and Cole Kmet. Obviously, I'm probably going to drop Kmet, but
you got to go with Hunter Henry.
I have Henry in there right now, but I'm looking, and Strange is on the wire. There's also Schultz on the wire.
What about
Smart on the wire?
Yep.
So
I love Dalton Schultz today, but Smart is
stick with Henry. The only one I would consider over Henry would be Smart.
Smart. Yep.
Yeah,
Smart or Henry.
Bay.
Yep.
So Tampa Bay pass defense is horrible. They're not very good versus tight end.
What did Cole Kmet do against the Vikings?
Got targets as soon as Disley went out last week. Smart immediately was getting catches.
What did Smart do against the Vikings last time? Kmet.
Let me see.
I'm not sure. It feels like Kmet hasn't done anything in quite a while.
He hasn't done anything for a while, so.
I'm a huge underdog to Tooch, so I think I'm just going to roll the dice on Smart. Because I got a 0 burger out of Cup, and then the 49ers defense only got me 4 points. So I need a miracle, and maybe Smart has a great day. I don't know. Or Henry.
Man, you're probably lucky you got 4 points with all those shit they gave up the other night. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the other game. I'm sorry. I was thinking of that.
Kmet was 7 for 64, no touchdowns. 10 targets versus the Vikings.
No, anything's possible, I guess. King Buka wants to know Bowers or McBride. That's tough.
I don't know
honestly,
how
you should have traded one of those a few weeks ago before
the trade deadline.
I would stick with Bowers because McBride still has no touchdowns.
Yeah, McBride popped up on the injury list this week. He's got a knee injury, but supposed to play. I would go with Bowers. But I mean, McBride.
You can't go wrong. Either one of them. They're the leading target guy. I mean, they're the best tight ends. So
McBride is primed to have finally score a touchdown
Yep.
this week. It was a great matchup.
That's what I'm praying for. Is like he finally
overdue.
huge positive regression here for the playoffs. He gets like 4 touchdowns the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm praying.
Because the Raiders have a new quarterback starting, and I just don't know exactly what that's going to do for.
And Bowers is playing what, the Falcons?
Yeah, on
Falcons,
Monday
and then the Cardinals are going up against the Patriots.
The Patriots,
Cardinals Patriots feels like a pretty big McBride Hunter Henry game, back and forth maybe.
Yeah,
both,
for sure.
They both allow about 11 or 12 fantasy points to tight end. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's a coin toss. I mean, you can't go wrong.
I don't know
you
who's
can find a way to start them.
Aiden O'Connell is out. Probably doesn't matter who's quarterback. Was it Minshew in?
Minshew's out for the year, I thought.
Is he?
Yeah, Minshew's done.
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, Ritter, I think, is playing.
I mean,
Aiden O'Connell is technically questionable, followed by Desmond Ritter and Carter Bradley.
Ritter may just throw 20 passes to Bowers, though, But Ritter sucks, man. I think he's one of the worst
I was just saying,
quarterbacks.
Ritter, like, the Falcons wouldn't even let him throw 20 passes. So,
yeah.
Like, I'd actually probably go McBride.
Probably go McBride.
Thinking that it's Ritter, yeah.
If it's Ritter, I go McBride.
Yeah, I like McBride a lot today. I think he finally scores. I hope so, for my sake and everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
This Hunter Henry or Mark Andrews? Robert wants to know.
I actually kind of like Hunter Henry more there. I think the Ravens are going to run the hell out of the ball today.
Yeah. Try to look. So Andrews is against the Giants. The Giants are actually been really good against the tight end. So the Cardinals have been pretty good too. Man, I don't know. I'll probably go Henry. I don't know. I think it's a wash either way. And then look, man, it could be a supreme blowout. Giants and Ravens. I mean, that the Giants team is falling apart.
Yeah, I think Hunter Henry. I agree. Buka wants to know Tyreek Hill or Thomas Jr. Better quarterback is Hill, so I don't think you can bench him.
Yeah, no, you got to play Tyreek.
After last week, you can't.
It's like Thomas Jr. though. It's like that's the only guy there that basically in the pass receiving core of the Jaguars. Everyone else is out. Evan Ingram's out for the season. Shit.
But see that also
Christian Kirk.
That can be a positive, but that can also scare me because it's like, okay, we'll just shut him down, and then what do you do?
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about with Alvin Kamara today. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm worried he's going to bust big time today because
he bust big time last week. Last week he didn't have shit last week.
Yeah,
and Kendre Miller had over 10 touches, I think.
Yeah.
So I love Alvin Kamara, but I mean, there's no reason for him to play the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get the other guys in there and give them some experience?
Absolutely. And Dwayne wants to know DJ Moore or DK Metcalf. DK's been banged up. He's been disappointing. Yeah. Kind of number 2 wide receiver behind JSN.
100-yard game for DJ Moore last time versus the Vikings. I mean, you can throw all over the Vikings. That's how you have to beat them. I go with Moore, even though he's kind of phoned it in this part of the season. So
let's go. I go DK Metcalf first half, DJ Moore second half.
Yeah, I wish you could.
I think they're probably about the same guy, if I'm being honest. But I think I'd just give DJ the slight tad ahead because DK has not looked himself.
Yeah,
you have to beat the Vikings through the air. Like, you can't run on them.
Yeah, I think DJ will get more targets.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you. JSN has become a target machine for the Seahawks. So we got through Tooch's tight ends. We didn't get to anybody else's tight ends, I don't think.
All right. I don't think so.
Adam, here you go.
I got the same as me almost.
I got a couple of them same as Tooch, and then obviously a must start anyway. But Travis Kelce, I think, has a big game versus Cleveland today. Myles Garrett is going to be rushing Mahomes. I think he's going to get a lot of little dump offs there to Kelce. I think it's a really strong PPR game for Travis Kelce.
That other guy too, man. If
Noah Gray.
Yeah, if Kelce retires this offseason, you have to seriously look at Noah Gray next year.
No doubt.
Redraft or whatever, and dynasty or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call. My tight end starts. I love Tucker Kraft today against Seattle. I think he's going to be the chuck down guy that the Seattle defense is going to be chasing after Jordan Love. They're going to run the ball a lot.
Yep.
and Tucker Kraft is going to be that safety guy. So as Tooch called him earlier in the season, he is Travis Kelce light.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have that same role today in the offense. So I like Tucker Kraft. I had Njoku in a couple of leagues, and I had Kraft as my backup, so I got to fire him in there, and I think that's going to work out nicely. We've all talked about Jonnu Smith. He's been ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
You got to keep rolling the dice with him there.
Yep.
And then a guy no one's talking about who's been dressed. He's been very consistent for a guy that's older. Zach Ertz got a great matchup against New Orleans today. I think he's going to see a lot of action, especially in the red zone. So you could certainly do a lot worse than Zach Ertz on the tight end side of things this week. And the tight end questions continue. Dwayne wants to know K. Dotton or Stone Smart. Otten has been horrible.
They're playing each other too, right?
Yeah, it's in the same game. Yeah,
same game. I mean,
like
the Chargers are good against the tight end.
Yeah, they've been pretty good against the tight end. The Buccaneers are terrible against the tight end. Give me Smart.
I like Smart better for sure.
Chargers have been rushing the passer really good recently with Bosa now.
And they've been using K. Dotton a lot as a blocking tight end the last couple games too. So not to say that that's 100% going to happen, but Otten certainly has not looked the way we thought he would. All right, so we got through tight ends. Let's go to wide receivers and see what Adam's got for us.
Cortland Sutton versus the Colts. He's been just double-digit targets for about a month or more now. He's Bo Nix's go-to guy, and he gets pretty deep targets as well. I mean, he gets 10, 12, 14 yards down the field on all his plays, it seems like.
He's kind of like DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Similar player.
Yeah, just not quite the muscle build, but big, tall guy like that can go up and get it, and he always has the position on his defender. Yeah, he's a great player, and he's top 10 receiver on the season very quietly with a rookie quarterback, so it's very impressive. Yeah, he's a must start every week right now because of his target share, in my opinion.
The Sean Payton
great
effect.
Matchup versus the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Thomas light.
Exactly, it's Drew Brees, Michael Thomas right now. Exactly what it is with him and Bo Nix.
Yep.
And then, except honestly, Cortland Sutton's deeper targets than Michael Thomas was.
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
And might be a better athlete too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Terry McLaurin, I mentioned him earlier. Again, he's top 5 receiver on the whole season. Nobody really seems to realize how well he's done since he had 2 bad weeks to start the season, and he's been nothing but great ever since. Yep. I think he's had 1 down game the rest of the year. Yep. He's got a great matchup again today. New Orleans, there's no more Marshawn Lattimore there anymore now. It's just a great matchup. And then I'm taking the guy that everybody's down on right now. They're having problems with A.J. Brown today. I think Jalen Hurts makes a point to get a touchdown to A.J. Brown today. I think A.J. Brown first touchdown in that game is a great bet because I think it's right out of the gate. They try to prove, we're not fighting and we like each other. And if everybody's heard all that drama all week where they, acted like they had a bunch of beef between them, and I think they make a big point to get AJ Brown the ball and get him happy, and it's also a tough matchup versus the run today, so I think it's going to be a little tougher for Saquon, and they're going to have to throw it more than they have been. And it's going to be up to Jalen Hurts to make some plays with his arm.
That's the only problem. Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback.
I love that.
He's a good fantasy quarterback though. Yeah, a decent fantasy quarterback.
And guys, we do have some breaking news about the Dolphins game. Both starting tackles will be out against the Texans today via Cameron Wolfe. Big, tough challenge for Tua Tagovailoa and some young backup offensive tackles.
That's what I was worried about.
Hey, I kind of like more quick passes, like I was saying, more quick passes to Tyreek and Waddle.
Yep. Devon A-Chain.
Yeah, A-Chain definitely benefits from that. So.
Man, A-Chan,
maybe not.
A-Chan's one of the wildest players to me. Like, I have him on one of my teams, and you obviously start him every week. And when Tua's played, he's put up points every single week with Tua has played. The weeks Tua didn't play, he didn't do shit. But he's not getting hardly any carries right now. But he's doing it all he always gets a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown every week.
He's not going to get any carries today either, I don't think.
No, exactly. That's what worries the hell out of me playing him every week because I'm like, they give him like 6 or 7 carries and that's it. And he hasn't had 30 yards rushing in a month or more. Like, it's brutal. You just keep praying. That is a good sign for him today, I think, with those tackles out. They're going to dump it off to him quick.
Yeah, maybe have 10 targets today.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
And Tooch, what do you got at wide receiver for us, bud?
Well, Shakir's numbers the past few weeks is getting targets out the ass. Lions, they're tough run defense. You could throw a little bit on them. You have to beat them through the air. There really isn't much else with Dalton Kincaid. I don't know what his status is. I think he's questionable today. Kincaid, or is he back? He's still out.
I think he's
right?
supposed to be back. I thought.
He's
I haven't
supposed to be
actually
back?
heard that officially, but
The inactives are officially out, but they're a later game, aren't they? Or are they a morning
later
game?
Later game. They got Garrett.
let me ask you guys this one real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but you just made me think
Sorry.
about that Bills game. Would you play James Cook or Alvin Kamara?
Cook.
Man,
Yep.
you think so?
It's the highest total on the board, so
I know, but Detroit's such a good run defense, and like Cook's role
Yeah,
has been decreasing every week lately.
yeah, I know. But he does catch a lot of passes, though. You know,
Yeah.
It's probably a
Yeah.
wash. You're probably right.
Kamara. He's
Why
going.
why did the NFL not put Bills Lions as the night game in the flex over Seahawks Packers?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know, right?
Like I totally expected today, like that was the game tonight.
Yeah,
It would be
yeah.
Bills Lions. Then I was like, wait,
It
second,
should
that's
be.
not the night game. Yeah,
It should be.
yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
game. Everybody wants
Packers
to
Lions
see.
is a good game though too, but not as good as this one. This is a Super Bowl preview. Bills Lions.
Right. I can't believe that wasn't flexed.
Yep.
All right, sorry. Get back to your thing. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worry. I mean, Shakir. Amari Cooper gets the bulk of the coverage, so Shakir's been benefiting from having Cooper opposite him. Wilson versus the Jaguars, he's really poured it on. Jaguars are one of the worst teams versus the pass. And then Jerry Jeudy versus the Chiefs. I mean, you have to throw on the Chiefs. You cannot run on them, and they haven't been able to run the ball anyways, even with Chubb back. I have a prop play of Jameis Winston over 35.5 passing attempts. He could air it out 40 times in this game.
Oh,
You know?
for sure.
I don't know. What do you think as far as like the Browns? You know, I mean, they're at home versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs have not put up 30. They're the only team in the NFL that hasn't put 30 points up yet in one game.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like
which is
Judy
amazing.
and I like Elijah Moore.
They're what, 11-1? 12-1? What are the Chiefs? 11-1?
Yeah, I think so. Or 12-1, I think.
12-1, and they haven't scored more than 30 points in a game. They've been doing it with defense, you know? So Jerry Jeudy has really turned into a good player with Jameis Winston.
He really has. And King Buka wants to know Mayfield and Evans or Love and Dobbs.
I'm going Mayfield. Evans.
Mayfield and
Yeah,
Evans, easy.
I'm not touching Love or Dobbs.
Evans is gimpy. He gets a share of targets. Dobbs is one of the deepest target guys in the NFL. He gets his depth of target is really high, but I mean,
Love's not going to have any time to throw the ball today. I just don't. I don't see that happening.
Mayfield has been so much better as far as like running the offense and throwing the ball. I don't think Jordan Love is that good of a quarterback. I mean,
I feel like Mayfield and Evans have a mission to try to get that 1,000 yards for Evans these last 3 games or whatever they got. Like, I feel like he's going to force feed him.
I don't own any shares of Chubb, so I'm pretty sure he hasn't done much this season.
No, he is not. I had him.
You know, he's one of my.
I don't know which Williams are we talking about here.
Javonte Williams.
I'm assuming you're talking about Williams, Javonte. I mean, that's fine. I would have done the same thing. Chubb's been brutal.
Yeah, Javonte's like come back from the dead, I think.
They can't figure out Sean Payton can't figure out which running back he wants to use.
Jaleel McLaughlin has also been good.
Yeah, I mean, they're all good running backs. Just Sean never knows who he wants to use. So
yeah, you don't want to touch the Denver backfield.
But great choices, Tooch. I also have Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to go off today. Adam Thielen as well against Dallas. Thielen's looked really good coming back from the IR.
Right on.
He's had some killer hands, killer catches, killer feet. Love him today. And I talked about Jackson Smith and Jibba earlier. He has been unbelievable for Seattle. He's been a league winner on a lot of teams. I think he's going to continue to see more targets. DK commands the attention, and you see a lot of JSN getting it done. So I think that continues today against Green Bay. I think you got to start him if you have him. Did I miss a comment or did I get them all? I think I got all the questions. Good. Scooting into defensive starts, I'll lead things off here. I like the Commanders today against the Saints. Saints have another new quarterback starting today. I don't know if you guys saw his photo shoot, but he looks like he should be in GQ and not the NFL. I don't even know his name off the top of my head, but nonetheless.
The Saints quarterback?
Yeah.
Hayner or something? Jake Hayner?
Jake Hayner, yep.
Yeah, so imagine there'll be a lot of turnovers in that game from a new quarterback. We talked about the Cardinals, the Patriots. The Patriots offense just has not been what they should. I think they're going to see a handful of turnovers in that game as well. And who looks to destroy the Bears? The Vikings. In every facet, they find a way to just shove it down our throats. So I have a feeling the Vikings have a good day on defense against the Bears. Well, I guess that's tomorrow, not today.
Tomorrow night, yep.
Yep. And Adam?
I like the Chiefs versus the Browns because I love Jameis Winston for a whole bunch of reasons. One, because you can always play good defense against him. He's likely to throw a pick six. They're likely to be playing from behind in that game, and he's going to force the ball every chance he gets. And he loves doing it.
He can really sling it. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 350 yards today passing, but
absolutely. That's Jerry Judy's a great play, as you guys talked about a minute ago. I mean, it's ugly, but the fantasy points add up, and that's all that matters with the Browns and stuff like that. But I still think the Chiefs' defense is great in this one because of the interceptions. He's probably going to throw at least one, and often they get returned for touchdowns. So, and Chubb, as the guy that asked a minute ago, yeah, Chubb's a bench versus the Chiefs' run defense for sure.
Yep.
And then I love the Ravens at the Giants today. I believe DeVito's playing quarterback. They've gone back to him. He just really sucks at passing the ball. So I think the Ravens, Hardball's going to tee off on him and get some turnovers in that game. I'd be surprised if the Giants score 10 points in that. And then I'll take the Jets today at the Jaguars. Jets have been kind of underperformed all season, but they still do have good cornerbacks and a good secondary. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to throw the ball a whole lot. Tooch mentioned Brian Thomas Jr. being the only guy they got. I think between Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, they'll kind of blanket him, and it's going to be pretty tough on them. So I like the Jets today in that one.
Did they fire Doug Peterson yet?
No.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Somehow, some way, he's still employed. Unbelievable. Yeah. Robert wants to know Brown, Shakir, Sutton, and JSN. I need two. Wow, that's a great problem to have.
AJ Brown, right? Or not Hollywood Brown? Because Hollywood Brown is back this week.
Hollywood is out.
Is he? Okay, I thought he was back this week.
Man,
he'll be back probably next week or the week after. Okay. But, man, I have a hard time benching any of these guys. Well, Shakir, for me, is the odd man out for sure out of these three.
Yeah,
even though I like him today.
First one out.
Yep.
Great options here.
I know. And for me, you can't bench Brown or Sutton.
I know. So I want to say Brown or Sutton and JSN, but I'm not benching AJ Brown. I'm just not going to do it. So it'd probably be AJ Brown and Sutton for me.
Me too.
I'm going Sutton and JSN with the whole Brown chatter back and forth about them. I think maybe there's a slight part of reality there, and maybe we'll see that play out today. I don't love it, but I just JSN has been so hot. I just have such a hard time taking him out of my lineup. So I'm going Sutton and JSN, but I can see how you can go Brown and Sutton. Yes, and he's talking about AJ.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could find a way to start all three, Brown, Sutton, and JSN, flex one in, but would you guys rather start DeAndre Hopkins at flex or Elijah Moore?
Hopkins.
I have Moore over Hopkins
right now.
It's
tough, though, right now. I mean, it's tough.
Because Jerry Jeudy and Moore.
Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean, Elijah Moore gets like 10 targets a game, though, too. That's tough.
That one is pretty tough.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, full PPR, Moore might be a better play.
Yeah.
It's a PPR league, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. But like I said, I'm way behind Tooch. I need some help, and I'm just throwing a Hail Mary, literally.
If you need the upside, I'd probably play Hopkins because he's got a better chance of getting 2 touchdowns or something Elijah Moore is going to get like 10 catches for 70 yards, maybe,
and no touchdowns.
Right, he doesn't score many touchdowns.
And Hopkins will get 6 points right away in a touchdown, But that's my initial thought, and it could turn into a shootout.
If I was the underdog, I'd play Hopkins.
Browns. This might be the game where the Chiefs finally score 30.
Possibly, or they lose.
The Browns. I think will be playing.
Chiefs could have lost 8 games by now.
Yeah,
they're the worst. They're the worst good team I've ever seen.
Yeah, their defense is for real, man.
But it's even not as good as it has been the last couple of years. They're giving up more than they have been. But I got a feeling they're going to flip that switch here right at the end, like they have.
If you got Chris Jones on your team, man, you got a good defensive start right there, man. That dude's an animal.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely miss L'Jarius Sneed this year since he left.
McDuffie's been good though.
Secondary.
Yeah, McDuffie's been good though. My defensive starts, of course, you have to go Vikings versus the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb's got a long time without an interception. I hope he doesn't throw one. But, Vikings are going to give you sacks today for sure. The Bears have given up 7 sacks in a game 3 times already this year. One game was 9 sacks versus the Patriots. But coming into that game versus the Bears, the Patriots had 7 sacks on the whole season. They got 9 against the Bears. So then Cardinals versus the Patriots. Look, with the Cardinals at home, they're a better team at home. They're playing a rookie quarterback, Drake May, who's going to probably make some mistakes. This could be a lower scoring game as well. I like the under in this game. Cardinals, Patriots. Give me the Cardinals defense. And then you got the Ravens versus the Giants. The Ravens are a really opportunistic defense. They might give up points and stuff, but they get some, special teams and defense turnovers, points, whatever. So give me the Ravens versus the Giants today.
Love it, man. We'll quickly get through our sleepers and our starts, and I know Adam's got to get out of here shortly, so we'll let Adam lead us off here with his sleeper picks.
Isaiah Davis, backup for Breece Hall. It's been Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis were the backups, but Isaiah Davis has gotten quite a few touches the last couple of weeks and actually looked better than Braylon Allen. And he's getting the catches, too. He's gotten some targets. So if you're desperate and you have Breece Hall is supposed to play today, but, man, I would not feel comfortable starting him.
Me either.
So if you're desperate and you need somebody, Isaiah Davis is on a lot of waiver wires. These are all guys that are pretty, deep type of plays if you're really desperate right now, or maybe like Joe's talking about, you really need an upside play that maybe could hit big. Tim Patrick would be the other one. We saw him score 2 touchdowns, I believe, in the last game. He's a big play guy too. He's a huge, 6'4", 6'5" guy. When he's healthy, he's produced for the Broncos for years, and he always got hurt with big season-ending injuries one after another. I think that Lions-Bills game is going to be a lot of points going back and forth, and usually when that happens, the Lions utilize a lot of different players. So I think Patrick could be a kind of a dart throw if you're looking for one of those big plays like Joe's talking about. You need 20 points. He could get you 2 touchdowns and 50 yards on a few catches. So, and then Stone Smart, we've all mentioned him already. He filled in for Will Dissly and immediately got targets last game. Going against a bad pass defense who's very mid against the tight ends. I think he's a great waiver wire pickup and start, especially as kind of all tight ends seem to be pretty much the same this year, unless you're Brock Bowers or Trey McBride. It's all kind of take a shot, so Stone Smart's as good as any, I think.
Love it, man. All great options there. I got Jake Ferguson as a sleeper start because he's been one of those tight ends that's kind of gone up and down, especially because his Dak is gone, but got a great matchup against Carolina today. I can see him going off. Also got Josh Palmer here, the guy who I've been talking about for 3 years, especially if Ladd McConkey is out in this game. You got the running backs are all banged up. I think this is the game, especially against this terrible secondary, that Josh Palmer finally makes some noise. If you need some help, he's available in nearly all leagues. Again, I know it's playoffs and it's not ideal by any means, but I have a feeling you're going to see Josh Palmer finally score a touchdown today.
He's always had a soft spot in Joe's heart.
He has made me look like a fool this year, but maybe today he finally picks up the pieces. We'll have to report back on that one next week.
And he's one of those guys, like, he'll make a great play and then just a horrible play followed it. Like, he'll catch a great pass and then just drop one right in his hands the next play. You're just like, man, he could just be consistent.
Hoorah. You're not wrong. And then we talked about Sincere McCormick. He's the guy for the Raiders right now. He's got a great matchup against Atlanta. I think he's going to see a lot of volume, and I think he's going to well outscore his projected points of about 9 in most leagues. He's projected at 9 points. I can see him putting double that.
Yeah, I like him. He's been getting like 16, 17 carries the last couple of weeks.
Yes, he looks good. Tooch, what are your sleepers?
Got Devon Vele versus the Colts. This guy, look back at his numbers recently. He's been quietly putting up some numbers. If you're looking for a flyer, Sincere McCormick, he's getting all the touches in the backfield there for the Raiders, and then Nick Westbrook Akine versus that Bengals terrible pass rush. They're looking for some touchdowns.
He's been a touchdown machine.
He's been 7 of the last 8 games. He's put up a touchdown. So,
and Calvin Ridley owners, of course, got to be excited for that matchup too. I would imagine.
Yep.
Lots of attempts in that game through the air, I would imagine. Great call there. And let's get to Adam's sits. And I know he's got to get rolling here, but who you sitting this week, Adam?
Michael Pittman Jr. versus Denver. Obviously, a tough matchup. Not great quarterback play there. It just seems like an obvious don't take your chances there to me. And then I'm worried about Tyrone Tracy today versus Baltimore. He's been pretty consistent lately, but he's kind of been getting lucky with the touchdown a lot. The stats aren't actually real great. It's just been he's getting saved by touchdowns. And Baltimore's strength is the run defense. I think it's going to be tough for him to get in the end zone in this one today, and probably going to be under 50 yards in my opinion. So I would be nervous about playing him. If you got a better option, I would look at it. And then Kyle Pitts is just – I'm done with Kyle Pitts. At tight end, he's out of the conversation for me from now on. And unless he lands on a different team and shows something different, but he's not the player everybody thought he was supposed to be, it doesn't appear. And Kirk Cousins' quarterback play has just been awful for the last 4 games. So you can't count on anything there. So grab Stone Smart if you got Kyle Pitts.
Love it.
Yeah. Agreed. Love it, Adam.
And yeah, I've got to get out of here because I got to get ready for work. So,
yeah,
for
sure, man.
Being back with you guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Good luck to everybody this week, and I will talk to you gentlemen later today.
All right, Adam.
You know it, buddy. Good luck in your bye weeks.
All right, thanks, bud. Good luck to you guys.
All right,
See
buddy.
y'all.
Appreciate you. Later, Adam. Adam Sham, everybody. Appreciate him. Tooch, question for you. I'm in a podcaster league with Aldo and like a bunch of other Bears podcasts. I'm in tough sledding because I need a lot of help. I got only 15 points between Cup and Guerrero. I haven't flex, or who would you rather put in? Do you have Adam Thielen at wide receiver or Amari Cooper?
Cooper. I don't know, man. It's tough.
JSN or do you go Thielen? I got JSN. I think it's hard to bench him, right?
Yeah, Thielen has been the guy, though. He's a little banged up, though, too. But, man, that is tough, man.
What I should have done is flexed in Thielen over Guerrero, but it is what it is. Too late.
Yep.
Anyway, we gotta do our sits. Sorry, I let you get your sits out of the way.
No worries. Yep. I got Anthony Richardson versus the Broncos. Talked about this before. I just don't think he's really good right now. Chubb versus the Chiefs. Tank Dell versus the Dolphins. I mean, Dell has not done anything.
No, not really.
Even without Stephon Diggs. So I don't know. I like the under in that Dolphins-Texans game.
Especially now with the starting tackles out for the Dolphins.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good
yeah,
sits.
those teams will run the ball and they'll,
they're going to run the ball for sure.
Chew up the clock.
Mm-hmm. I'm sitting Jordan Love today against Seattle. I know I talked about this earlier. That defense has been looking good for Seattle. Jordan Love's deep ball or ball in general has not looked good coming out of his hands. Josh Jacobs is the man there. They're going to use him all day, and Tucker Kraft. So I'm not touching Jordan Love if I have better options, and most people do. So no Jordan Love for me. DeAndre Swift is a sit for me against Minnesota. You cannot run against Minnesota. If they're going to have Swift active part of this game, they're going to have to throw him the ball. But as we've seen, Minnesota sniffed that out. So I'm not sold on Swift today. I think there's way better options you could get at running back. And then the Bills defense against Detroit. A lot of people have rode the Bills defense a lot this year. Same thing for Detroit. I'm benching both of those defenses today. I think both of those defenses get you negative points. So I'm avoiding this game. I believe Tooch said this is the highest total of the year. Is that right?
Yep.
The bookies don't mess around. If it's the highest total of the year, that's when you know there's going to be some serious points. So neither defense for me. They're both sits. And then we got a question here. Breece Thielen or Brian Thomas in full PPR? The best matchup out of the three of them is Thielen.
Yep.
Thielen's going up against Dallas. Breece is probably not even going to play.
Thielen for me.
And Thomas has got a backup quarterback, so I'm going Thielen there. We're Thielen that decision. Bad one. Chat room, I know there's quite a few of you tuned in right now. We are answering questions up till kickoff or until the questions stop pouring in. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to see if there's any more questions coming in. We're going to answer them, but we got through our starts and sits. Tooch, you got any props for today?
I do. We'll flash them up there. I got it. All right. Jameis Winston over 35.5 pass attempts. I think if you can't run on the Chiefs, Jameis is going to be slinging it, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be slinging it. Aaron Jones over 68.5 rush yards. That's for Monday. Isaiah Pacheco over 13.5 rush attempts. I think he gets 14. Josh Allen over 37.5 rush yards. Lions play a lot of man, so with the backs to the offense, I think Josh Allen might take off. And then the last one I love, Chris Boswell over 1.5 field goals versus the Eagles. I think that'll be a low-scoring game. You might see it be a field goal war. And if you look on back at Boswell's numbers, he's gotten like 2 field goals in like almost every game this year. He's been the best kicker in the NFL. Mr. Reliable.
He has been very good.
Yep.
And for those of you wondering, I am looking up the weather in Philadelphia today just to confirm. And it looks like it's just going to be couple showers, but tempered.
It doesn't matter with Boswell.
Yeah, it doesn't. And the winds are only going to be 5 to 10 miles an hour at 30% chance of rain. And that's over the course of the day. So I'm not too worried about Boswell. He's been awesome all year long.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we do have a question here. Let's see if we could take it. Lamar wants to know, start 2. Who do you got? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Darnell Mooney, Zay Flowers. You definitely got to start A.J. Brown. So that's the first one, no doubt about it. You're not starting a player on the same team, so you're not starting Devontae Smith.
Man.
Is there anybody on the waiver wire? Is Elijah Moore on the waiver wire, Lamar?
I actually kind of like Devontae Smith today.
But I'm not putting my eggs in the same basket or the same team.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right.
For the playoffs.
Yep. Darnell Mooney has been pretty good, man. Hard to sit him. You know?
That's true. And they're going up against, I think, the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Falcons. And that's tomorrow night. No, win and I'm in the playoffs. Yeah, I guess I'd probably go A.J. Brown and Darnell Mooney. Mooney's been consistent. The Baltimore is going to run the ball this week. I don't think they're going to throw very much at all. Mooney at least gets open, no matter who's throwing him the ball. Whether it's Kurt or if Penix gets in there. I think we're going to start to see some Penix. But, yeah, you're right, Tooch. I mean, unless there's somebody good available on waivers.
Yep.
Lamar, since you're tuned in with us, why don't you let us know what names are on waivers at wide receiver? I mean, Mooney's not a terrible option. I'm just curious if there's anybody with a great matchup, like an Adam Thielen by chance. I doubt it. A Jerry Jeudy, perhaps. Again, not likely. I have no idea how many people are in your team in your league, but that's also potentially something that could help you out. But definitely start AJ Brown. You're not benching him. But I love all those props, Tooch.
Yep. All right, buddy. Yeah. Get those in.
Yes, get those in if you have prop plays. We're going to give our buddy Lamar here a minute to see if he answers us or if any other questions here, but we'll probably get out of here in the next couple minutes. We'll give you guys a second, and then we're going to see our playoff matchups and see what happens. Wish everyone the best of luck in round one, or if you're on a bye week, that none of your players get hurt. There's a lot of stuff happening in fantasy football. It's all come to this. All the dedication, all the waiver wire pickups, all the research.
All come down to this. All come down to the playoffs here.
And Tooch and I are playing in our big money league against each other.
Yep.
Ironically. I got a goose egg out of cup on Thursday, but I've got Joe Burrow, Chuba Hubbard, and Saquon Barkley, and Garrett Wilson to try to help me dig out.
Against me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Burrow's a pretty good play today, man.
Well, you got Murray, who's also a good play today.
You got Chuba Hubbard and Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
I got Charbonnet and Henry, though.
Yeah.
I got CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Waddle, Trey McBride. It's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. I bet you'll still be close, even with the cup goose egg.
Yeah, Vikings defense could potentially be the one that helps me out this week if the Bears really, really crap the bed.
Yep. Yeah, I have no choice but to go with the Dolphins defense this week, but they've been playing well.
There's worse options out there.
Yep.
It's got you favored by 15 points right now, Tooch. We'll see.
15 isn't a lot.
Which we were like at 50. I was like 51% favored to your 49, and then I got a goose egg, and that's why
Yeah, the barroom league. I had Cup and Jawan Jennings as my two starting wideouts.
Did Jennings put up anything?
5 points.
He put up 5 points.
Yeah. Terrible.
Well, my league with Jennings and those guys, I got to buy this week, so I got lucky.
Terrible.
Terrible, crazy knucklehead.
Terrible.
That's terrible. Thanks, Charles. Yep. All right. Well, Lamar did not get back to us. That's all right. We are going to get out of here and let you guys get ready and watch your playoff matchups. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back to talk round 2 of the playoffs next Sunday.
I got to go get started on my honeydew list.
That's right. It's Sunday. Got some stuff to do. Playoff matchups to win.
Yep.
And I may or may not be here next weekend. We'll see. We're getting close to baby number 2, so we'll play it by ear, man.
God bless.
We shall see. But for Fantasy Football Goon, I'm Joe Mandel, the Goon. This is John Santucci, the Tooch. Adam Sean, the man with the plan, had to take off and head to work. But we wish you luck in your playoff matchups and appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the Barroom Network and like everything that helps us keep doing what we're doing. We very much appreciate it, and tune into all the great programming on the Barroom Network all year long. As always, God bless America. God bless football. And let's kick some ass. We'll see you guys next week and getting you ready to move on to the Fantasy Championship. We'll see you guys next time. Robert, thank you.
Thank
you,
Robert.
We'll see you guys next Sunday. Go win those matchups. God bless America.